What's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, 24 hour day back from the break. Don't forget that you all can follow and subscribe to the KBR Sports podcast. We're going on Rebel TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, don't forget that you can follow the KBR Sports Twitter page at KBR_sports with the live links and show topics to tweet product every single show. Don't forget you can also call in to KBR Sports at 571-991-0566 to give your thoughts and opinions on any KBR Sports show topic that may be getting discussed live on the show. All right, y'all. So to jump into this next topic, I alluded to it by saying that one player actually seemed to have gotten himself in a little bit of a stir with his teammates and just an overall perception across the league because he walked away from a skirmish over the weekend, and that one player will happen to be Mr. Lonzo Ball, Mr. Nonchalant himself. So in one of the Lakers games over the past weekend, they got into what would be a little skirmish, and Lonzo can be visibly seen walking past it, literally walks past it, looks back, and it kind of is just like, that's not my problem. That is not my problem. And so afterwards, you hear some people saying, oh, that's not what you do. You don't walk away. Even Luke Walton said that that's not how Lonzo should have handled it. And Luke Walton came out and said that, some of Lonzo's teammates came out and talked to him about the whole incident. And Lonzo's reply to the whole incident was the fact that, man, this is the NBA. Nobody's really gonna be ain't nobody gonna be fighting out here. I wasn't trying to get a technical. So, was Lonzo wrong in walking away from the skirmish and minding his own business? Yes, he was wrong for walking away from the skirmish and minding his own business. His thought process in terms of why was not wrong. Because how often do you see really guys get into brawls in the NBA, start throwing fisticuffs? Because at the end of the day, everybody cares about their money. Everybody knows when they come home, they got a family to feed. Some people have wives to feed. They have wives that also have entitlement to that money as well. And they have girlfriends that they take care of, or family, parents, whatever it may be. And you throw a punch, you get suspended for X amount of games. That hits your pockets. I don't care who you are. So that's why you even see LeBron James. Even when people have tried to test him over the years, Lance Stevenson blew in this man's ear, and LeBron did nothing about it. Literally aside from scoring and just getting a dub on them. But anyways, Lonzo's analysis from that vantage point is not incorrect. Where Lonzo's analysis falls flat on is that where he doesn't see the value in terms of supporting your teammates and backing your teammates. That's where Lonzo kind of dropped the ball here, because he doesn't realize that how that looks in public perception. Since Lonzo's the point guard and he's kind of like the leader of the team, Lonzo is expected to some degree to be willing to not more so throw himself into the fray and get to scrap or anything like that, but just come to the aid of your teammates. Those same teammates that will have your back in times of need, when like people are going to be picking on you because of your father's antics and such. You're going to have those same teammates are going to be coming to back you when guys like Patrick Beverley and others want to just pick on you for being a rookie and pick on you for things your dad said and nothing that you have said. So when you have that lackadaisical mindset and you're not really showing the same kind of willingness to stand up for your teammates as they have shown for you, it can come off in a bad way especially for Lonzo Ball, who has not been playing well. Granted, he did notch his second triple-double of his career, but he has been struggling to shoot from the field. He has not played well by any stretch of the imagination. So it's one of those things that you can only sit back and be like, well, Lonzo needs to do everything and anything to get on, to ingratiate himself with his teammates to a high degree, because there are times when you look at Lonzo, he can seem a bit standoffish. He does seem to have a good relationship with some of the guys, but he does seem a bit standoffish and aloof at times. And whether or not that can, some players, that's just their natural personality. Lonzo does seem to have just a natural aloof personality, but you would think that Lonzo would be of the mindset, hey, I got to do whatever I can to ingratiate myself with these guys, to get these guys on the good sides, to bring them, to want to make them want to play for me. I want them to be for me in every instance, every situation. And when people break out into a skirmish, into a fight situation, it looks kind of, sorry about that. It looks kind of suspect when you're not looking to join it, or you look at the situation and you just kind of walk off. especially when the point guard is supposed to be the leader of the team. And Lonzo, who's not that he self-proclaimed himself to be this or dubbed himself to be this, but when a player is given that title of the leader of the franchise, the guy that's going to return the franchise back to prominence, when a guy is given that kind of what would you say, backplay and wordplay and clout, then you're gonna sit there and essentially believe that he's gonna fill all the leadership roles the team needs. But essentially, it seems as though Lonzo is more of the quiet, hang to myself, background kind of guy. Like, but in the NBA, to be a successful leader at a high level and to fully fulfill that stardom tag, a lot of times you will have to be a vocal leader in a lot of instances. Tim Duncan might not have been the outgoing, bravado-ish leader that LeVar Ball could prove to be, or that other NBA leaders have been in the past, like a Russell Westbrook or so. But Tim Duncan did communicate with his teammates, whether it be on defense, whether it be on offense. Tim Duncan always made sure he was talking to them. He was a coach in the huddle, outside the huddle, and Tim Duncan was the exemplary. Sorry about that. He was the exemplary example or coach of Greg, or the pseudonym for Greg Popovich on the court. He was the embodiment of Greg Popovich's will on the court when they were playing. That's why Greg Popovich always says that Tim Duncan did so much for him, and that he was able to coach the team the way he did because of Tim Duncan. Because Tim Duncan did not have that I'm a star mentality. Tim Duncan did not have that, oh, I'm above all criticism. I'm above all critique or anything like that. So when you see it from that standpoint, you don't really want to criticize Lonzo for being a quiet or more reserved kind of to himself star. But as a point guard who pretty much is calling out the plays, who's communicating with guys everywhere on the court, who has to tell guys where they're going to be, who's the guy that has to yell out when he's getting screened, he's got to yell whether it's a switch, all those things. Lonzo has a lot of talking stuff he has to do, and he has to full on be a team player. Now, I'm not saying I don't understand where Lonzo's rhetoric is coming from in terms of, hey, I didn't want to pick up a technical, because a lot of times these guys get technicals, then if they get ejected later on in the game for something that's like a double technical or something like that we think is questionable, we're like, oh, well, why he shouldn't have picked up the technical in the first technical in the first place. So it's just never a good look. So from those vantage points, I totally understand where Lonzo Ball is coming from. Because not like Lonzo is exactly the biggest intimidating guy coming down the court to try and stand up for one of his teammates, but it's just the act of standing up for your teammates that wins you the brownie points. It's sort of like making somebody a gift. Even if the gift isn't a good gift, it's the act that counts, or it's the thought that counts. And even though Lonzo might not be going down there to fight anybody, or he knows that it might not turn into a fight, it's the thought that your teammates know that, hey, he had our back regardless of what the circumstances may be. He had our back. He was coming to ride for us and have our back in this situation, even if it might not have been necessary, it might not have been needed, even if he might not have been of much help. He was there with the other four guys on the team. Because it really was literally every player on the Lakers on the court was involved in the skirmish, trying to push the other guys back. And Lonzo was the one off guy standing by Luke Walton looking at the skirmish take place. So it's like, when you have that image, it's like, oh, well, it's the guys over here and Lonzo over there. So it's not exactly the image you want painted of your point guard, especially the point guard is supposed to be the franchise guy that's going to change your franchise and renew Showtime. All right, y'all. So when I come back from the break, I'm going to touch on a team that could possibly we could be seeing the close and end of this team by the end of this season. Stay tuned to find out who I'm talking about. It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day. Don't forget that when the live link disappears, refresh the page after 50 to 60 seconds, and the live link should be back up for you all to tune into. It's KBR Sports.